What's happening to the economy in America?
It is Thursday, April 3rd, a day that is now etched in the history of failed economic policy and self-inflicted political wounds as President Trump's broad, completely untargeted tariffs are tanking the U.S. markets, wreaking havoc on American companies.
Comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has risen so rapidly in recent years that the world economic community has begun to ask, are the BRICS preparing to overthrow the dollar's reign in the global financial order? Indeed, the BRICS countries are openly discussing the idea of reducing dependence on the dollar as a reserve currency and establishing an alternative payment system. This is precisely where Trump's anger erupted. If you look for alternatives to the dollar, we will hit you with 100% to 150% tariffs, he declared from Washington, in perhaps one of the most extraordinary threats in the history of trade.
Remember this date, April 3rd, 2025. On this day, Donald Trump, through his own executive decisions and the imposition of aggressive import tariffs, delivered a serious blow to the U.S. economy. By enforcing a 20% tariff on imported vehicles and goods, including those from Europe, he triggered a shockwave that is still unfolding. Global markets are crashing. The world is watching, from India and Pakistan to Saudi Arabia, Russia, Europe, and Canada.
Markets look set to sell off as Donald Trump imposes the steepest U.S. import levies in a century.
I don't think there's a single positive take on this. This is all just bad.
Stocks set to wipe out nearly $2 trillion in market value.
Taking a plunge as investors react to the sweeping tariffs. The world was yesterday sort of bracing for a bazooka. But Trump decided he was going to go the Chicago way, and he dropped an economic Moab.
And they are going to turn it upside down, and I think 50-50 into a recession.
The American stock market is spiraling, and experts warn that this freefall could last for at least a week. This level of economic disruption is unprecedented. Each time Trump tries to revive the economy, he digs ordinary Americans deeper into debt. The result? Soaring food prices, higher car costs, and rising inflation, creating a vast economic chasm between the elites and everyday citizens. Ironically, those who voted for him, believing in his promise to make America great again, now feel betrayed. While the wealthy may not notice the immediate price changes at the store, the looming collapse will soon impact businesses of all sizes. What lies ahead for the U.S. in the coming months? How will global partners respond? What consequences await average Americans, the very people who place their faith in Trump? Even Elon Musk, who once supported Trump's campaign, is now struggling to stabilize Tesla under growing economic pressure. Can he recover? Or is he facing a reckoning of his own? The United States stands on the brink of a new reckoning, and 2025 has only just begun.
If you act together, we will impose devastating tariffs on you. As a matter of fact, the White House trade team has already put this plan on the table, according to rumors in Washington on March 28th. Some officials warned this step will reduce the GDP of everyone, including the US, and explode inflation. But it is known that Trump will not easily give up on the idea of maintaining our power no matter what the price, US as a whole. Or do they want to facilitate trade among themselves? While most experts are skeptical that the bloc can create a new global reserve currency in the short term, formulas such as a BRICS bank or gold-backed trade mechanisms are being discussed. Russia and China, in particular, have recognized the geopolitical advantages of breaking away from dollar dependence. India, though more hesitant, is warming to the idea of global financial diversification, with steps such as paying for oil in rupees. If we trade in our own currency, why should we depend on the dollar? Asked Brazil's president. South Africa shares similar concerns. In short, these 5 countries that question the dominance of the dollar could become even more united with Trump's threat. Some say that the more aggressive Trump acts, the more cooperation within BRICS will accelerate. But what would happen if such a 100% or 150% tariff were actually imposed? Analysts say that the world economy could enter a very serious recession. These depend on China, India, and even Brazil for their supply chains. A 150% tariff could send prices skyrocketing in areas such as raw materials, electronic parts, food, and textiles. Consumer inflation could spike. There is also talk of Chinese retaliation. Russia has already minimized trade with the West.